Hello Internet, this is Ewan Spence and ESC Insight calling. How about you come and spend some time with me and the Eurovision Song Contest? Coming up, everybody gets a medley, the UK is missing out, and it's the return of at least one 2020 preview party. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Ewan Spence here in the chair for another episode of Insight's News Podcast, looking at the last 7 days and looking forward to the future of the Eurovision Song Contest. Well, what can we say? As we all grow accustomed to our strange new world, from live streaming from living rooms to re-watching old contests as a community, I do find myself looking on proudly as the Eurovision Song Contest and its community once more quietly demonstrate the power to unify across the continent and around the world. Hashtag the contest that never was, or the contest that never will be, depending on when you listen to this. It's going to be a key moment in the ongoing Eurovision story. These moments in 2020 are going to sit alongside the introduction of colour television broadcasts, the loss of the orchestra, asking fans to stand up in the arena, or even the addition of the country name and a number on screen. These are all become parts of the fabric of the contest. Of course, the debates are going to continue forever about who would have won Rotterdam 2020. And let's face it, if we can still debate who would have won any previous Eurovision year, why did Annie Lorach lose out in 2008? Then we're all going to be able to do the same with 2020. Sure, these discussions would have been happening during April anyway in our parallel universe, but they have a totemic power in their duality right now. These songs are lost in a sense that they will never be on stage or voted on by the public or national juries, but they are not lost at all to the community or the rest of the world. Everybody looking on knew about Think About Things. It was out there on television. It became something in the public conscience. It effectively won Eurovision 2020 zeitgeist. And of course, it's going to storm the ESC 250 at the end of the year. We might even have found a challenger to the number one spot of Euphoria. We're all coming to terms with the effort required to slow down coronavirus. There are many uncertainties in life just now, many of them incredibly close to home. But this too shall pass. And when it does, when we all need to have that one shared moment, our song contest will be there for the whole world. Right then, on with the news. As always, you can keep up to date with the podcast and leave your notes and comments back at our website, escinsight.com, and we're in the usual Facebook and Twitters and social medias as we're going through as well. If you want to carry on supporting ESC Insight, you can do so at Patreon, escinsight.com/Patreon, where we'll run up some extra podcasts and some extra articles. I've actually dug out some paperwork to show the planning I did in 2008 for the podcast going forward into Moscow 2009, the formative years before ESC Insight was even called that. So that's over at patreon.com/ESC Insight. Of course, it's Rotterdam 2021, which is at least a frontrunner for the next contest. They're looking at about €6.7 million to be able to host again next year. Of course, we don't know how much of the budget was reclaimed from the 2020 contest. Reports are that it was not 100% recovery. Neither do we know what the impact of fighting coronavirus has had at a local and national level in terms of finances. And of course, international finances are all going to be up in the air as well right now. So it remains to be seen. Nevertheless, proposals are going to Rotterdam Council by the end of this month to look at doing Rotterdam in 2021. We will keep you up to date with all the news on that as it happens. What is happening in May this year, of course, is the Europe Shine a Light showcase from the EBU and Avro Trust. As part of that show, the 2020 acts will be singing a medley from their own locations, and that will be to the 1997 winner, Love Shine a Light. The Eurovision community has a role to play as well. You're all invited by Eurovision.tv to submit a video of you singing Johnny Logan's What's Another Year. Chosen, I presume, for the pun, not necessarily the feelings and emotions inside the song. When you do that, make sure you've got your best Eurovision outfit on, a prop-filled room, and remember to wave your arms in the chorus. There are technical details on what you'll need to do in video formats to submit over at Eurovision.tv. Shine the Light will air at 9pm Central European Time on Saturday the 16th of May. Just remember, it's not a contest, there are no voting, it's just for the fun of taking part. In terms of broadcasters who are going to be carrying that show, Portugal and Italy join a list that includes Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, Switzerland and Ukraine. Of note, the only Big Five country not carrying that contest is the UK. The BBC have already announced their show Eurovision Come Together on the May the 16th as well, but it's heavily trailed that Shine the Light show will be going out on the official YouTube channel as well, so you'll probably have a chance to watch that back again and at a later date. In the same way that you can do that with the Eurovision home concerts as well. This afternoon, as we were recording it Friday the 10th of April, saw the second home concert as Eurovision artists present and past all gathered in their own living rooms to sing their song and a couple of other versions as well. This was the second week of that, so we had Dori Freyr, Montaigne, Vasil, Axel and Jons Tears, who were all 2020's entrants. Leonora from 2019 and Jamala from 2016 all took part as well. You'll be able to see that on a replay at youtube.com/Eurovision. Still got some small notes about the 2020 songs. Serbia's Hasta La Vista, sung by Hurricane, has had its remix released now. Presumably this is the version that's going to go out on the official CD and would have been on the stage in Rotterdam as well. The bass line has been punched up. There's more of Hurricane's own vocals, especially in the bridge, rather than using a backing singer, so that's likely pointing to what would have been on stage and how it would have been performed in Rotterdam. Looking forward to 2021, we still have the same 13 countries who've invited this year's performer to come back again. So that's Montaigne for Australia, Vincent Bueno for Austria, Effendi for Azerbaijan, Hooverphonic for Belgium, Victoria for Bulgaria, Tornik Kipiani for Georgia, Stefania for Greece, Eden Alen for Israel, Jean McCroy for the Netherlands, Roxen for Romania, Blascanto for Spain, Jons Cheers for Switzerland and Go Out for Ukraine. And of course, September the 1st rules still apply, so they will all need new tracks. A couple of bits and pieces from around the continent now, starting with Bulgaria. Victoria, of course, was an internal selection for BNT, and she's been invited by the broadcaster to sing again next year. And now, in the run-up to the May 16th, the contest that never was, and the showing of Shine a Light, we are going to have a little curious thing, as they're going to showcase all the songs that were submitted to Victoria's team as potential songs for Eurovision. Now that means we're going to hear about 40 odd songs over the week, and all the songs that were rejected. It also means, curiously enough, that all of those songs are now going to be ineligible for the 2021 contest, because they will be given a public airing before September the 1st, the year before the contest, so September 1st, 2020, for the 2021 contest. And I wonder if, although they're saying they've got 40 odd songs, a couple of them are going to be held back because they've already got the song they want for next year. We'll find out over time, and we will let you know when we know. Over in Finland, they also have plans for the Eurovision week, and they've announced them now. May the 14th, which is the Thursday night, there's going to be a viewer-voted top 10, and they're also going to replay Eurovision 2014. That's the year where Finland finished 11th, their second best placing in the 21st century after Lordi's win in 2006. On May the 15th, there's going to be a viewer request show. Choose your favourite Eurovision song and tell YLE and all of Finland why that song means so much to you. Following that, there's going to be a replay of the 2006 Eurovision Song Contest and the aforementioned Lordi when Finland won. May the 16th, the Saturday of the contest that never was, there will be a discussion show first of all, followed by a replay of Eurovision 2007, hosted of course in Finland, see Lordi's victory the year before moving over to join much of Europe for Europe Shine a Light following that. And this Saturday, the 11th of April, just want to flag up the ES pre-party running from Eurovision Spain. This, of course, was going to be one of the big pre-parties of 2020. It's still going ahead in a slightly different form. It's going to be an online concert. You can watch it on YouTube from 10 o'clock Central European Time in the evening. It's going to be hosted by Blas Canto, who of course would have been the 2020 singer, and is going to be the 2021 singer, and Barai, who sung in 2016, both for Spain. They're going to have 20 acts performing from their own living room and doing the live stream stuff from this year's contest. As well as that, they're going to have special guest stars Lucia Perez, sung for Spain in 2011, Melania, which was Junior Eurovision's Spanish entry last year, Soraya, singing from 2009, and Zlata Ognjević, who sung for Ukraine in 2013. You'll be able to watch that at youtube.com/Eurovision-Spain. Okay, what have we got content-wise? Well, Jukebox Jury continues to air. It'll be on this podcast feed. But if you're listening on the radio or online, head over to escinsight.com or check your radio listings for details. So we're still airing on the podcast radio, thepodcastradio.co.uk, covering London and the southeast of England. Ourselves and a whole bundle of other podcasts are getting radio play there as well. We have our newsletter, sign up for that. ESC Buzz over on Twitter continues to look around the Eurovision world to highlight the conversations that are happening. And over the next 7 days, well, we got a double header on Saturday, the 11th of April, the aforementioned ES pre-party. But at 8 p.m. UK time, Eurovision again will be kicking off. They'll be choosing 1 year of the Eurovision Song Contest live stream. Everybody starts watching at 8 o'clock and use the hashtag Eurovision again. Last week saw the EBU debut an HD version of the 2009 contest, timed to start at the 8 o'clock top of the hour, and EBU and Eurovision themselves promoting Eurovision again, and everybody joining in on the hashtag, also joining in the live chat on YouTube. And of course, being a premiere meant that they could sync up everything, and there was a countdown to 8 o'clock, and there was an introduction from a certain Alexander Rybak. So that's all community coming together to that. There's obviously the Euro jury that's coming from Eurovoix, and there's a couple of other community projects, broadcasts and streamings that we should all hopefully hear about over the next couple of weeks. And of course, next Friday the 17th of April, it will be the third of the Eurovision home concerts coming out of the Eurovision.tv team, and of course the previous two are available to watch again at youtube.com/Eurovision. Well, there we go. It's been a slightly quieter week. Things are settling down. No doubt it's going to ramp up again as people go, well, it would have been Eurovision in the next 2 or 3 weeks, so we will build up more community efforts, more engagement, more discussion, and more competitions. We'll keep you up to date with all of those here on the Insight News podcast. For now, from myself, Ewan Spence, and the rest of the SC Insight team, stay safe, be kind, ta-ra for now. This week's ESC Insight News podcast was written and hosted by Ewan Spence, www.escinsight.com.